the character who understands Kurai best. When people think about important relationships and stories, they usually think about friendship or rivalry or even romance. But one of the most interesting relationships a character can have is with someone who truly understands them. Not someone who always agrees with them, not someone who follows them, not someone who idolizes them, someone who sees them clearly for who they are, the good parts, the bad parts, the strengths, and the flaws. And in Crimson Banner, the character who understands Kurai better than anyone else is Shiori. So while I work on this illustration of Shiori, I want to talk about why that relationship is so important to the story. Understanding versus agreement. One thing I find interesting in storytelling is that understanding somebody doesn't automatically mean agreeing with them. In fact, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes the people who know us best are also the people who challenge us the most. They recognize our strengths, but they also recognize our weaknesses. The things we're blind to, the things we don't want to admit. That's part of what makes Shiori important. She understands Kurai in a way most people don't. Not because she's always beside him, but because she sees things that others miss. She notices the motivations behind his decisions, the emotions beneath his actions, the reasons he keeps moving forward, even when he doesn't fully understand those reasons himself. Why Kurai is difficult to understand. He's not the easiest person to read. Like a lot of protagonists, he has goals, convictions. He has things he wants to achieve, but people are rarely as simple as the goals they chase. There are fears beneath those goals, doubts, questions, conflicts, the things characters don't always say out loud. And that's where understanding becomes important. Because understanding someone isn't about listening to what they say, it's about recognizing what they don't say. It's about seeing the emotions hidden behind their actions. And Shiori is especially good at that. She pays attention. She observes. She notices details. And those details basically allow her to understand Kurai on a very much deeper level. When I was developing Crimson Banner, I knew Kurai couldn't exist in isolation. Every character reveals something different about the protagonist. Some challenge him, some support him, some even oppose him. But I wanted one character who would see through him. A character who wasn't impressed by appearances. A character who could recognize who Kurai really is beneath all of the expectations placed upon him. That's where Shiori came from. Not as a mirror, not as a follower, but as somebody who understands. And understanding can be incredibly powerful, sometimes more than strength, more powerful than talent, more powerful than authority. Because when you truly understand somebody, you can reach the parts of them that nobody else really can. One of my favorite things about writing characters is exploring how different people influence each other. No one grows completely alone. The people around us shape who we become, and so do the events, whether we realize it or not. And Shiori plays an important role in that process, not because she provides all the answers, but because she asks important questions. Questions that force reflection, questions that challenge assumptions, questions that make growth possible. I think those kinds of relationships are fascinating. Sometimes growth comes from being understood, and growth doesn't always come from being taught. And that's a major part of what Shiori is and why she's so important as a character. As I'm drawing this piece, I think it actually captures something I like about Shiori. She's sitting on a tree branch, quietly admiring cherry blossoms. A peaceful moment, a simple moment. But I think those moments matter. Not every character needs to be defined by action. Sometimes the character in the quieter moments tell you the most about who someone is, how they think, what they value, and what they notice. I wanted this illustration to capture that side of her, the thoughtful side, the observant side, the side that takes the time to appreciate things that others might overlook. And in many ways, that's the same quality that allows her to understand Kurai so well. At the end of the day, understanding someone is a rare thing. It's easy to judge people. It's easy to make assumptions. It's easy to see what's on the surface. What's difficult is seeing the whole person, the strengths, the flaws, dreams, and fears. And that's why Shiori is such an important character to me, because she reminds us that understanding somebody can be just as meaningful as fighting beside them, maybe even more. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed hearing a little more about Shiori while I worked on this illustration. The finished artwork will be posted later this week on my Pinterest account. If you're interested in following the development of Crimson Banner, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.